Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Many women are knowingly sharing men. Many women are knowingly sharing men. Now, you know, of course, a big news item for the last few months has been all these single, lonely men out here. All these single, lonely men. And, you know, one number thrown out was 60% of men at a certain age are single, right? Younger ages, right? But only 30% of the women are single. Now, sit back and think for a second. In general, there tend to be more women rather, than men. In general. It depends on what region you're in as well. But just for the sake of that study, think about it. 60% of men are single, young men are single, but only 30% are single. Now, you would say to yourself, what's going on there? Well, it's obvious. And you know, I remember this woman, lady friend, when I met her back in the day, first met her, we still cool to this day. But I remember when we met and we were talking about that, you know, because I was like, well, how come women are saying there's a shortage of men, but it seems like every woman actually has a man? And she put it in plain terms. They sharing the same man. Look, I'm gonna tell you something now. This is something that's really happening and a lot of people aren't talking about. And you had plenty of women who are knowingly sharing a man. And sometimes they sharing a man, but not knowingly. There's plenty of women doing so. See, remember, I always talk about select and non-select. Women, in general, prefer a select man. Now, I've always said, if they have to, they'll deal with a non-select man. But I'm gonna tell you what, with a lot of women would rather just get a piece of time with that one man than just deal with anybody they gotta settle with. Even some of these women out here talking and everything, talking about, oh yeah, well, I'm single, I'm independent. Man, she probably got a maintenance man. I want y'all to think about that. Like, let's get into that whole maintenance man thing. Though the maintenance man, that's that guy just servicing different women. A lot of women have that guy. They sharing that guy. Or he could be just he might not necessarily be a maintenance man. He might be some professional or something. Some guy, you know, he in decent shape. He looks good enough to women, you know, got something going on. He might have a roster of women. And women will know it. Like I said, knowingly. Now, yeah, of course, there's some women who don't know. They might, you know, those guys who got that roster, they might have one woman they got to like tell the requisite lie to. They say, oh no, you're the only one. But if that one woman actually thought about it, she'll realize, wait a minute, how come I don't get to see this guy on holidays? He likely has it. In fact, and it's been a long time thing. You know what, I'm gonna call out a name well known for dealing with relationships, Michael Baisden. Now I remember I met him back in the 1990s, right? Met him back in the 1990s, actually a couple times. Now I remember he was at this bookstore that was in the DC area. He was doing impromptu seminar. This before he really got big, but he was doing an impromptu seminar. And you know, I'm sitting there watching, like, yeah, and everything. And I remember what he said. He called out a couple. He looked at multiple men and even pointed me out and said, okay, well, how many women do you have? How many women do you have? And I was just like, well, no, you know, I'm single. You know, and I was like, you know, single. I ain't messing with anybody, you know. And he knew I was bullshit. He just looked at me, he said, yeah, you're a politician, which means I was bullshit. And I ain't gonna lie, I was like, that's because I was checking out about 2 or 3 women there. You know, I ain't gonna say in front of, oh yeah, player. I was like, But he knew what was up. He knew what was up. Look, and that's just a reality. And, you know, and I'm going to tell you what, some women, they even cool. They'll tell you, it's like, hey, you know, I know you got other women and stuff, just as long as you give me my time. And indeed, there's a lot of de facto polygyny out here. Now, I know people think the word's polygamy, but polygamy is just multiple and stuff. It could be a man or a woman. It's polyandry if it's women with multiple men, but technically, if a man marries multiple women, that's polygyny. But you have de facto polygyny where a guy got like serious relationships with multiple women, and that's nothing new. That's nothing new. Shoot, I remember my grandfather, we found out he had a whole other family. And that's like a regular thing. But here's the thing, many women know. Many women will know that they sharing. And many women, they will get with that. Now, the number, I mean, people use 80-20. The number is greater than that, but it's still smaller. It's still smaller than that. Shoot, I remember one time being at a seminar given by a Tantra master at this relationship expo. It was men only. And the seminar was handling multiple women. And the story is going around in there, and you had guys in there just casually talking about their at least having 2 women. And the women will know. Women will know. In fact, in some cases, you do have what's called a polytriad, where it'd be 1 man and 2 women. And they know it. They know it because just the nature of women, a lot of women, they prefer to have just that man to themselves. Let's just be real. They prefer. But they would rather deal with that select man and share him as long as he's reasonable and treating them right. And really as long as he's filling them up, satisfying them, than just be with some bum. You know, a lot of women, some women will still try to like change that bum up or something, but a lot of them will. And in fact, you have some women, they'll bring in the second woman. They'll bring in a second woman. See, understand something with women. Yes, they're emotional. Yes, they can be self-centered. But once you get past the emotion, when you get past that emotional part, they're pragmatic. They are pragmatic. And they will rather share that man knowingly, as long as he's acting right with them, as long as he's treating them right, as long as he's satisfying them in bed or taking care of whatever he has to take care of and everything. As long as they know, okay, he taking care, he handling what he need to handle, they'll let him go. In fact, they might even give him condoms. They might give him condoms, say, look, you just gotta use this condom. And it's just a reality. Women are very pragmatic. And, you know, it really comes down to they realize there's only a smaller number of men they actually want to deal with. You know? Like in my last video, I talked about like very attractive women tend to have lower body counts. That's because they will focus exclusively on the select men. And it's just a reality. It's just a reality. And indeed, that's why you're going to have fewer women who are single than men. Fewer women. Because women will knowingly share. It's just a reality, all right? It's just a reality. So anyway, that's all I have for this one. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.